Alright, 6:30 in the morning, Monday, Labor Day. Headed to the range, get a few practice swings in. Gotta make sure I got my clubs in the truck. There they are, beautiful. Here we go. Alright, headed to the range, gonna work on the 2 new moves on the swing. They're looking really promising. Got a lot more really nice paired shots. Yesterday I played 9 holes and we really feeling optimistic about the new moves in my backswing, in my golf swing. So the first move is turning, making sure my torso is facing my hands in the backswing. And then the second move is getting rid of my early extension, making sure I'm clearing those hips and keeping that butt back, not scooting my hips and my butt closer to the ball. It's been causing a lot of inconsistency in my ball striking, making it really difficult to get a predictable result. So I've been grinding on that pretty hard at the range. And if you want to get good at ball striking, you've got to get the basics down. That's what I've been neglecting for a long time. You know, I've been playing fairly consistently for the past few years and haven't really seen much of a change, much improvement in my handicap. And I finally realized that's why. Like, I need to stop trying to fix everything with band-aids. I've been holding on too tightly to my old habits that aren't good habits. So I finally let myself commit to just being okay if I suck for a while and saying this is part of the process. I need to break down my swing so I can build it up to be better. And if you want to get serious about improving your golf game, you have to be willing to look at your swing and say, is this fundamentally good enough? Is this a swing that can take me in the direction I want to go? And in my case, it wasn't. And you guys helped me realize that too. Posted a video last week about my frustrations as I started this more focused effort to get my handicap down to scratch. A lot of you commented about how my swing was looking and how that could be part of the problem. Even had some PGA coaches reach out and tell me some things I needed to change. That's what inspired my better rotation in the backswing, and that has already made a big difference. I get distance more effortlessly, and if you want to know more about that or how to do that, implement that move, I had a coach that tried to put me in the right position for an hour and I couldn't hit one ball cleanly. It was really frustrating working with him, and I was like, I don't think this move's for me. Then I had somebody on TikTok show me a video of Grant Horvat doing it correctly, or using a drill to get into that position, and I was immediately able to get into that proper position. And you know, there's still a lot of mishits, which is fine because I'm rebuilding my swing, but I also was able to get some pure strikes by doing that. It's that drill where you just shoulder the club, turn, and then straighten your lead arm. That gets your right elbow where it needs to be. I had a tendency to keep my elbow behind me on my trailing arm, and that's no good. You got to keep it under your hand so that when you come into your swing, you're kind of skipping a rock, and that just helps generate more natural power without effort. And then the new move I'm working on, I had a lesson Saturday morning a couple days ago, and we were focusing that lesson on early extension. I've always known that's a problem with my swing, and I've just ignored it. Just said to myself, well, you know, I can work around this early extension, which you can, but I got big goals. So I want to get everything fundamentally right to give myself the best shot of getting down to scratch. The first milestone I'm going for is single digits within 2 months of these lessons that I just started taking. It's feeling really promising right now. I shot an 81 last week. I shot a 42 on 9 holes yesterday, which wasn't awesome, but I did have a couple of bad breaks on that, a couple lipped out putts, so I was happy with how I was striking the ball. when I hit it well. I did still have some mishits, but I also was able to pure some approach shots from 100, 150. Usually that distance is tough for me. I was just throwing darts at that distance. So these new swing changes are feeling really promising, I guess what I'm saying. So right now we're headed to the range, and we're gonna, all of my focus, all of my thoughts is gonna be on early extension, trying to keep my butt back on that downswing, on that follow through. I still have a lot of work to do to get in the right position on that swing. So that's what I'm grinding at for sure for the next couple of weeks. I catch myself slipping on the backswing sometimes when I'm focusing on this early extension. So trying to keep both of those things in place is what we're working on this week while we're at the range. We're going to Lakeside Golf Course this morning. I live about 10 minutes away from it, so it's pretty easy access. They got a big wide open range. They even hold some longest drive events there. It's a big, long, flat range, so it's a great place to do it. But I play here a decent amount. This isn't my go-to course, but I'm lucky. I live here in Bountiful, Utah, and I have 3 courses within 10 minutes, 3 more within another 10 minutes on top of that. So within 20 minutes, there's 6 options for golf courses. And most of them are like 30 to 40 bucks for 18 holes. Walking, I always walk. Helps me feel justified in my rounds of golf because I'm giving myself a little bit of exercise. I do get a little more tired. My 81 last week would have definitely, I can't say definitely, but I feel it would have been in the 70s had I not gotten tired, because I finished bogey, 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 triple, par, bogey. So I was only 3 over after like 14 or 15 holes. The round was feeling really good, and then I kind of fell apart at the end. But I like walking. I get good exercise. I feel healthier. It feels like it's a good justification for being out here. Golf is such a great sport. You know, most sports you have to have a group of people together in order to play them. And granted, golfing with buddies is a fun thing to do, but having the ability to just go golf without having to coordinate with any friends or other people, you can just say, I want to go golf, boom, you go golfing. It's great. I had to sneak out quietly this morning since I was leaving the house kind of early. I didn't want to wake up my wife or my 2 girls. So we got our house quiet and early. Now we're gonna go smack some balls. Always start my range sessions warming up with a little wedge. One thing I've noticed, I'm not sure why yet, but the early extension thing is a lot easier to do correctly with my wedges with shorter clubs. I don't know if it's because of the position my body's in, but when I'm standing with a shorter club or with the wedge, you know, get my rotation and that butt, just poke that butt out, and I feel like it feels right. The longer the club gets, the harder it is for me to lock that in, but gonna get the reps in and get this figured out. So with the rounds from last week, I did jump down from a 12.4 to a 12.0, so I'm back on track. We started tracking at 12.3. Like I said, the goal is 0.0, scratch golf, and right now we're at a 12.0. All right, so warm up. First thing I do, taking a club across my chest, and I'm just focusing on those body positions. Loosen up a little bit. See, this is a really easy way to make sure my torso is going back towards my hands in the backswing. As you do this, put the club in your hands, you're already there. Torso's facing the hands. That's what we want. And then my lesson on Saturday, one of the things my coach talked to me about was, you got it. Yes, sir. you want your follow through to kind of mirror your backswing. So the backswing, my lead arm straight, my trail arm's making that serving a dish, serving a tray. On the follow through, my trail arm should be straight and my lead arm should be doing that tray position. So it's just kind of a good checkpoint to make sure we're doing the right things. All right, let's do a couple of half swings here. And our target's going to be that first flag right there. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll mark it on the video to make it a little easier to see. We're just warming up, so we're not too concerned about chunky garbage shots like that. Caught it pin, not a problem. One of the important things to do while we're doing practice and on the range, every time I mishit a ball, I try to think about how I mishit that. Was that toey? Was it heely? Was it fat, high on the face? Was it thin, low on the face? Early extension, one of the reasons it's such a problem is because more often than not, it causes the low point of our swing to be behind the ball. You never want that. You want the low point of your swing to be in front of the ball. The best of the best, it's like 4 or 5 inches ahead of the ball is the low point of their swing. But the important thing is that the low point's in front of the ball. That's going to give us this downward angle of attack and make the ball do the things we want it to do, like spin and stop. Now when I'm thinking about all these different things on my swing, like I said, when I think about that clearance, the early extension, a lot of times it sacrifices my position on the backswing. The other thing that it can sacrifice is tempo. So there's a lot to think about. That's why we're on the range trying to get it all put together here. There we go. That's what we want to see. I got the wedges all taken care of. Usually after that, I like to switch over to the 7-iron. So let's hit some 7s. Another thing that my golf coach talked to me about, slow motion swings, to make sure you're hitting that stuff. So he said, start in the impact position and then just hit a few balls just from impact position. Make sure you're compressing that ball right. And I'll do that with a half swing. That was really good. On the follow through, we want our knees and our thighs to be married. Have them really close to each other. Well, that shot was really good. I didn't pay attention to my early extension, so I may have gotten away with bad form on that one. That happens a lot. Just because you don't have the right form doesn't mean you can't deliver a good shot. but it's going to be harder to do it consistently. Let's try that again. Form felt pretty good on that, and that was a really nice shot. Let's do it again. We cut that one a little thin. Still got a decent flight. On the course, I'd be okay with that shot. But the early extension, I can feel myself jumping out of it. So that's the only thing I'm going to think about on this shot, and it'll probably result in a complete chunk, but we're going to make sure we got that right. Look at that. Just a bit right of target, but clean contact, and I got my butt cleared, so happy with that. One of the things that surprised me in the lesson was after working on these things he showed me and getting them right, I do more. I'll show you when we get to driver, but like the Scheffler shuffle, I can see how that makes sense now. Getting my swing a little more correct, I can feel myself kind of push off of my feet. Oh, that was not good. Too much arms. Another problem I have with my swing is getting my hands a lot too involved. The way my instructor worded it, your hands are educated clamps. So for the most part, they're just holding onto that club while your torso and your arms do the work. Little off target, a little soft, but a result I could live with on that one. The thing is, really, especially right now, as I'm working my handicap down from a 12, if I'm getting solid contact every time, that's enough to get me into single digits. And right now our goal is to get into single digits within 2 months. That's enough to do it. If I can get solid contact every time, my short game is good enough to keep me in the low 80s, high 70s when my ball striking's on. So that's what right now the goal of all these exercises, all this work, is to keep my ball striking fairly consistent. I don't have to flush it every time. I just have to be good, doing good advancement of the ball. That was a good one. Let's hit one more 7 and then we'll move on to a 4. A little low on the face. I got a little handsy again on that one. Like I said, that's my tendency. So it's just get up here. Just got to feel like my butt's initiating that swing. I'm going to do one more 7. I didn't like that one. And that one was a little toey, but livable. All right, so let's hit some 4-irons now. Puring a 4-iron's got to be one of my favorite shots in golf. When I hit a 4-iron pure and clean, it just feels so good. The longer the club gets, the harder it is to keep this form. But for me, visualizing starting my swing with my butt really helps. So, again, we've got that impact position we're doing. Good compression. I can't tell you guys how excited I am, like revamping my swing and actually taking the time to try to get my form right. The last week straight, golf, like you have ups and downs, ebbs and flows, but for a week straight, I've just been feeling so optimistic and excited about where this is going to take me. Well, I hit that clean and long, kind of faded out on me. I couldn't feel what happened on that one. Let's hit another one. Could have been a grip issue, could have been a stance issue. Probably came down with an open face. Not bad. That one went a little left of where I wanted to, so probably overcompensated the open face that time and closed it a little too much. Straighter and shorter. That one felt really nice. That's a 210 yarder. Right side of where I was aiming. What I think I need to be doing when I'm on the range, I think about all the technical thoughts. I get everything locked in technically. But when I get out on the golf course, let that go. Like whatever I've learned, whatever I've taught my body in my practice time, that's what I go with. Like go out there and be an athlete and just let me try to get into a rhythm. Play the best I can based on that. Based on what I got that day. Big hook left.
Now on number 1 is the first Gardner group, followed by the second and third Gardner group.
You know why we did that? Closed face. So let's open up the face a bit. Too open. And I didn't lead with my butt. You got to lead that swing. Just start the swing with that butt dip. Just to get that feeling in. Square face and impact. I feel myself popping that leg too soon. No good. Okay, here we go. Go back to slow motion. Try some slow-mo swings here. When I do it slow-mo, you know, I see that my club face is exactly square to my target. The other thing is trying to slow-mo and hold these positions is pretty tight on my body. Like going to the gym for me. Okay, here we go. Let's do it. Ooh, that felt real good. I have a Garmin R10 approach, and I always mean to bring it to the range, but I forget every time. I haven't brought it in over a year. So next video, I'll do that for you guys, so we can get some numbers. Good contact, open face. Okay, let's switch up to some fairway woods now. Let's go 5-wood. 5-wood used to be one of my favorite weapons that I have. Lately, I've been spraying them out a lot with this new swing thoughts, new methods. It's hard to get it locked in. So that's what I want to work on right now. We'll hit 10 or so of these. Again, let's do some impact stuff. And then we'll go into a full swing here. Only thing I'm worried about is getting that booty back. Oh, that's a 265 wood laser straight. That felt good. That thought's really helping me a little more. Really extension, like I say, when I practice it, that's a hard one to get in place. And this thought I'm having of very first move, just thinking about booty dropping back. Not a booty drop, I don't know what you call that, but pushing that butt back is just getting me into position so I can drop my arms and just. Okay, here we go. There's that open face slice I was telling you about. Here comes the sun. That's a nice little touch, huh? Probably not going to be able to see my shots anymore, though. So now, it's not a bad thing to not be able to see them because I can just focus entirely on feel. See how every shot's just feeling coming off of that club face. I actually was able to see that one just a bit right of target. I didn't like my follow through on that though. So that's another tendency I have. Let me block the sun for you here. Another tendency I have is when I come down through the ball, instead of staying on this lead foot, I rock. So I'll go whoop, and then fall back on my back foot. Lose a ton of power doing that. So really important to land on that front foot. And that's where that shuffle thing I was talking about comes in hand. So let's see if I can focus on that on this shot. Ooh, I really can't see now. Here, gonna get a little artsy on you right now. Okay, there we go. Try to block out the sun. Focus on form again. It was toey. I think we had the right swing though. So whenever I get down to 10 balls, I always switch to driver because finishing with driver is fun. However, today it's probably not going to be that fun because we're not going to be able to see any of them. So we might switch it up and finish with more wedge shots, which actually I'm going to do some wedge shots right now. I'm going to turn the camera a bit here. All right, so our target now, I don't know if you can see that autumn colored tree starting to get some orange and red on it. That's where we're going to aim. We're not worried about distance right now. We're just worried about good, consistent ball striking here. Clean strike, just a little left to target. Went right where I was lined up though. Just got to line up a little better here. Straight at it. That's what we want right there. Okay. This new, I already said this to you guys, but the new swing techniques and my wedges are really coming together nicely. I practice in my basement a lot. I'll grab a video of that for you. I actually love practicing in the basement with those colorful plastic balls, my daughter's toys. It's an easy way to practice half swings and work on that impact drill that we were talking about, keeping those thighs married. Good stuff. I was too swoopy, swayy on that one. Kind of a scoopy shot, so I went like, whoop. You don't want that. You want the rotation. That was pretty good. I don't know if you were watching closely, you see like I kind of stepped back on my trail foot again. That's the weight transfer. I still got lots of work to do to consistently get that weight transfer right. Little sway in there, little left to target. Not a bad shot. Not quite what we want with a 50-degree. And we caught that one fat. Really nice shot there. We've got 7 more balls and then we're hitting driver. Let's do some work with our 9-iron. Still aiming at that nice autumn colored tree out there. Oh, that was beautiful. That felt good. Now, this is an interesting thing. I'm looking at that fence. I've got my 9-iron. Let's grab the rangefinder and see. It feels a little close to be going full 9-iron at that direction. I was worried about hitting it over the range. So it's 134 to the fence. With how tall that fence is, I'm perfectly fine going at it. But because it's there, I swung lighter and got a pure strike.
Now on number 10 is the
When I'm not trying to kill it, I tend to get a smoother. When I swing lighter, I tend to get a much better stroke on it. Really nice. Likely on the green, depending on the hole, obviously, depending on where I'm aiming. Another good thing to do while you're practicing on the range, while I'm practicing on the range, I pay attention to where my misses are going. You know your shot dispersion. That's the whole idea of the decade system, if you're familiar, if you've heard that term. Knowing your shot dispersion so you know where to aim and say, okay, because your golf shot is not a single point. Like your ideal golf shot, you can't plan on the ideal golf shot happening every time. You have to plan on your dispersion. Say, where are 85% of my shots? What's the circle they're landing in? Let's aim at a spot where almost all of those are on the green or almost all of those are on the fairway. That's how simple the decade system is. So you just got to track if you're missing right, left, long, short, by how much. Then you know you can plan a better aiming point and be in good, much better shape because you planned, you knew the safer place to put your ball. Perfect. Oh, got a hold of that one and cleared the tree. I mean, cleared the fence and hit the tree. Whoops. There we go. Okay, let's hit some drivers. Now we're still gonna have to hit into the sun a little bit. So the tallest tree you can see, tallest tree we can see there, that's what I'm aiming at. I'm gonna focus on dropping that hip because what we want the most right now is to fix early extension. Laser straight, right at that tree. Beautiful. No matter what club I'm swinging, I'm working on these same things. Rotating the torso in the backswing, early extension, avoidance. Get that lead hip behind me. Torso rotation. See my torso is facing the camera. And dropping that hip. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna aim just a little left of that tallest tree this time. Try to keep it on the range. Don't know if you saw, my weight came to my back foot again. Lots of things to think about. Lots of things to focus on. Got to bring it all together.
Next up, number 1, T. Thompson. Now number 10, T. Johnson, fairway tech experience, fires, playing the torso. On deck number 10, Palmer.
Oh, weight still came back to that back foot, but that was perfect line. It felt like I did the extension thing right, where I got my hip back. We'll have to watch the video to see. That shot felt good. Still shifted, still came back on my trail foot. So I'll focus, I'm gonna put more focus on this swing on making sure I get my weight transferred to that lead foot. Shuffle to shuffle time. Straight down the barrel, little fade on it. Balance still wasn't great. I got on that front foot and then immediately fell back again. So I'm gonna do a couple of slow motion drills, just stay on that front foot, impact, front foot. Okay. Beautiful. Pummeled that right where I was aiming. That's 300 for sure. That felt good. You get that weight transfer right, and it just, the ball goes so much further. It syncs everything up right. Okay, here we go. A little pull fadey. Still would probably be fairway, if not close to it. We can live with that. Oh, man. You hear that echo. Drives feel good right now. I feel good. So that one felt like I did a good job getting that lead hit back. Weight transfer again, I fell onto my back foot. Also broke my tee. Let's grab another. One good way to utilize a tee, create your aiming line. So I'm sticking my tee a couple feet in front of the ball, and that's where I want to aim at. So again, that's just left of that tallest tree. See what happens here. Oh, just pounding it straight at the target. Feeling good right now. I don't know how my form looks. A lot of these shots I'm forgetting to think about keeping that lead hit back. So it's possible that I'm not doing that good, but now we'll think about it. That was a sway. So I did sway, and I sliced it. Okay, last one. Is it just me or is he reading the same names over and over again? Sounds like it. Okay. Last ball. Let's give you a Scheffler shuffle. Little left, a little low on the face. Probably just off the fairway, but a playable drive. That was good. Most of those drives felt like playable, so I like that. That was our range session today. I'm gonna go home and clean the house. We have 2 young daughters, so it's pretty hard to keep the house clean. Range session felt pretty good. Still had some mishits that we gotta clean up, but I think we're making good progress, headed in the right direction. The last few rounds, I've tried not to have too high of hopes for my score and just realized I'm revamping my swing, and the rounds have ended up going really well. So it's hard to keep my expectations low, and results have been pretty solid. But I'm still keeping that mindset, trying new things. We don't need to shoot lights out tomorrow. No, so we'll go out, we'll be an athlete, we'll do the best we can do, but we'll understand that I gotta keep in mind that I have a new swing and it's not gonna just automatically be easier and better. But I can still have fun. I know I'll hit some good shots because when I do everything right with this new swing, the shots look good, even though it's not even close to every swing. We'll get there. All right, back to the truck here. Gonna unload the clubs and head home. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys, I'm gonna take you guys through that kind of every day, what golf practice I do. Sometimes it's gonna be range. Sometimes we'll get out on the course. Sometimes all I get in is a little wedge practice in the basement with those plastic playpen balls I was telling you about. But we got to practice every day. We got to grind every day. That's how we get to scratch. So whatever we have time for, whatever we're able to do, that's what we're going to do. And we're going to see progress. It's been 3 years. I've been fluctuating between like 12 and 14 handicap. And golf's still fun, but man, it'd be a lot more fun when you see an improvement, when you see a growth. So that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to tuck her down, hunker up. What's it saying? I'm going to grind. We're going to grind. We're going to get to where we want to go. Because if not, then what are we doing? I want to hear what you guys are working on. What have you done that made the progress happen? I know some people just play rounds of golf every week and that makes their handicap drop. That doesn't work for me because I get stuck in my incorrect ways and try to band-aid fix them, and that's just, it's not a productive way for me. So what works for you? Those of you who have been able to make big leaps and bounds on your handicap, what worked for you? How did you do it? What else should I be doing to get mine moving in the right direction? I feel good about the course I'm on. I feel great about the direction things are going. I feel like these changes are creating more consistency in my ball striking and my shot direction. Good things are happening. That's my motto for this scratch plan. Good things are happening. And if I feel like I stall out at any point, I'm going to make changes. I'm going to say, why is it stalling out? What aspect of my game is not improving but's causing the hang up? And we'll go from there. Right now, by far, the weakest aspect of my game is my irons and my approach game. So that's why you saw in the range, that's what I'm trying to spend the most time on, because that's the low-hanging fruit. That's where I start striking the ball better with my irons, and I know my scores are going to drop. Lag putting, I'm not the greatest with, but you get me to about 12 feet, and I'm pretty good putting. So I feel confident there right now. Now, is it good enough to, is it scratch golf for putting? It's close. It's not quite there. I keep strokes gained on 18 birdies. I can walk you through how I do that tomorrow in my round with Ryan. But I use strokes gained on 18 birdies, so it tells me, you know, I can say against a 12 handicap, where are my strokes gained? Where are my strokes gained against a scratch golfer? Where are my strokes gained? I played with my cousin on Thursday, and with the driver, I was plus 0.67 handicap. So I was 0.67 strokes gained better than a scratch golfer with my driver. So that felt really good. And you saw on the range today, driver was pretty solid. Driver's typically a weapon for me. Sometimes it falls apart, but that usually goes well. Irons are never a weapon for me. I'm always way off of scratch golf. I'm even like 5 strokes worse than my handicap with iron. So I mean, like a 17 handicap based on my iron striking. I just make up for it with drives, chipping, and putting. The new swing, when I first started trying to figure it out and implement this, my 50 to 100 yard stuff was garbage. I couldn't get a feel for it at all, but I think I'm getting there. Actually, the playpen balls in the basement, those are helping a lot to get that locked in, surprisingly. But it just helps you get the feels of half swings and exactly how they should feel and exactly how far they should go. So that's a good exercise to do. It's a good thing to work on. Swinging a golf club seems like a simple movement, just turning and turning. But it's incredible how many different ways there are to swing a golf club. And even amongst the pros, you know, you've got John Rahm swings, you've got Jim Furyk swings, Bubba Watson swings. Pros don't all swing the club the same way. There have been many successful pros with different swings and different approaches. But even among those different swings, they have the foundations locked. The 2 things that I talked to you today on the range about, every pro does that. Watch their torsos rotate back and watch them not early extend. Dig that lead hip back as if there's a wall behind them that they're keeping their butt against the wall. That's a good visualization to lock that one in. So one of the reasons I know that I wasn't progressing a whole lot with my golf game is because I was practicing a decent amount with putting and chipping on the short game, which is probably why those are a lot better than my irons right now. But I almost never went to the range. It was hard for me to want to go to the range because it was always just kind of depressing. Like, oh, I'm not hitting the ball that well on here. This isn't that fun. And that's where, again, these overhauls come in, because now that I've got the form right, and when I execute properly, I can feel that I executed properly. I can see the ball go where I want it to go. And that's makes it fun to go to the range. Like, okay, that felt like a good shot. Let's see if I can do that again with the proper form that I've been taught. But anyway, it's amazing how many things go into the golf swing. Get your body rotation right, get your weight transfer right. How much tension do you have in your trailing leg in the middle of your backswing? What's your tempo? Are you starting with the right body part? Are you turning with the right body part? Are you keeping your club face square while doing all this? Are you finishing on your lead foot? Are you clearing your hips? Are you clearing your torso? Are you keeping your butt back? Just never-ending list of things you got to do to execute the golf swing correctly. And obviously, we can't think about every single one of these things every single time we swing the golf club. So we have to build the muscle memory to be doing it properly. That's what I really like about the slow motion swings. My lesson I took on Saturday was from a former touring pro. He only played in a couple events that he qualified for, but it was amazing watching him, because he could, without even thinking about it, just step up to the ball and pure it straight as an arrow every time. You know, he'd be telling me drills and he'd say, yeah, just like this. And then it'd step up, not even have to think, and just pure straight shot every time. So I got to build the muscle memory, then we'll get there, and this handicap's going to plummet. I'm excited. See you tomorrow.